If you live in Africa or plan to move to Africa and you've been wanting to start a dropshipping store in your country, then what I'm about to share in this video might change your perception of dropshipping completely. At the end of this video, you'll learn the good, the bad, and the ugly truth about dropshipping in Africa, and I'll share with you if this is a good or bad business model for you. And finally, I'll show you guys a better alternative which 99% of Africans are not exploring. And if you're one of them, then you should watch this video until the end. My name is Kelvin, and up to the date I'm releasing this video, I've made over $270,000 US through e-commerce in 3 African countries. And on top of that, I've built a strong community of dozens of e-commerce business owners in Africa called the African Seller. So I know a thing or two about dropshipping and e-commerce in general, and I think you should listen to what I have to say. What's dropshipping? First, let me explain what dropshipping is. The simplest form I can explain is this. Dropshipping is when someone sells goods on their online store without keeping any stock. When a client buys from your online store, you ask your supplier to directly send the goods to your client. It sounds like a very attractive business model, but no one is talking about the dark side of dropshipping. First, you have the crazy shipping times. You see, even dropshippers shipping products to more developed countries still face this issue. Their customers constantly complain about long shipping times because customers are used to fast delivery. The situation in Africa is even worse due to the following. So first, we have poor infrastructure. Our road conditions are poor, we have less developed transportation networks and limited access to advanced shipping and delivery services. And this can result in longer shipping times for your products. Next, we have lack of structured home addresses. There's something called the last mile delivery. This is the final lag between the shipping hub to the customer's address. For shipping companies to be able to deliver goods on time, they need a structured address. And unfortunately, that mission is impossible in most African countries because we don't have a structured home address. Next, you have bureaucracy, or in other words, paperwork. Some clients' goods are going to get stuck in customs. That's inevitable. The paperwork is just insane. And their goods can stay days and even weeks before they are released for delivery. And most of the time, they'll need you to be physically present there. So now, imagine doing this for hundreds of customers. It's just not sustainable in the long run. Next, we have ad account bans. This is the dropshipper's worst nightmare. Ad account bans. Here's how it happens. With long shipping times, you're going to get angry customers who never received your products. Then, you'll start noticing people commenting on your ads with things like, "This is a scam, I've never received the product, don't buy from them." So these negative comments will start driving your ad costs up. The Facebook algorithm will notice them and will eventually ban your advertising account permanently. So you won't be able to run ads again. Your only solution will be to use Facebook accounts from your friends and family, and it's just a never-ending battle. You'll then have to use their bank cards because yours will be blacklisted, and if you try to add it to a new Facebook account, it will trigger another ban. It's just not worth it in my opinion. Next, you have payment gateway bans. If you accept online payments in your dropshipping store, you'll need something called a payment gateway to accept online payments. With angry customers not receiving your products or experiencing long shipping times, what ends up happening is that they'll start asking for refunds and chargebacks. And you need to maintain low refunds and chargebacks rates to be able to use these payment gateways. Because if you don't, they'll just ban you and you won't accept any online payments. This is a concern for those of you living in countries with high bank card usage like South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, and Nigeria maybe. And for other African countries, this shouldn't be a concern because of a payment option that I will share at the end of this video. And next, you have quality control issues. Dropshipping doesn't give you a lot of control over the quality of the product that your client receives. The supplier will be the one who does all the branding and packaging. With dropshipping, you don't handle your product directly. This is the supplier's job. If your supplier sends low quality products to your client, you won't know, and that can lead to unhappy customers that won't recommend your products to others. Next, you have small profit margins and competition. With dropshipping, you're operating at very low profit margins. You're lucky if you go anything above 30%. And now that the ad costs are at all-time high, you find people struggling to reach those numbers. And on top of that, the moment your competition sees your ads, because nowadays someone can literally see all the ads that you're running, someone can just copy your ads and start running them on the same day. You literally have no unfair advantage because it's such a low barrier of entry. Anyone can come in, use your ads, drive your ad costs up until your ads die, and you're no longer profitable. And guys, I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but I don't see why this model will work if you're selling to Africans in the long run. I understand there's advantages to running a model like dropshipping. You need less capital to start. You don't need a lot of money to start with dropshipping. If you're a conservative risk taker, you don't need to invest much to start your store. You just have to pay for your Shopify subscription or hosting for your e-commerce store and pay for your ads. And if you don't want to pay for any ads, you also have the option to run organic traffic, which is free. It's also easy to start. If you want to start dropshipping, you can literally look for a supplier on AliExpress or find a dropshipping agent and start displaying your products in your online store. Done, you're ready for business. No overhead costs. Dropshipping requires almost zero overhead costs to start. You don't have to invest in any inventory upfront. You can start with your laptop and internet connection. It's easy to test and scale. Since it's easy to find products to sell in your store, testing products is very easy and fast. And if you want to scale, you can literally just increase your ad spend or organic content input. And honestly guys, it sounds like a very attractive business model for anyone, but in my opinion, it's just not sustainable. You're not building a brand, you're not building an asset that you can potentially sell for millions in the future, and anyone can literally copy all your ads, copy all your images, all your products, and basically just copy all your operation. And now, here's the part that you've all been waiting for. What's the alternative to dropshipping then? And honestly guys, what has been working for us in the countries that we operate in is keeping your stock. You can keep your stock at home, in your home office, or a warehouse if you have the budget. I'm guessing most of you are just starting out and don't have a lot of capital. And what's the solution for this? The following tips I will share will help you start an e-commerce business model that will work in most African countries. I use the same business model to make more than $15,000 a month with our brands. So tip number one, pick light products. I understand the fact that a low budget can be a problem when starting any business. Picking light products is the answer for people on a budget. That's because light products are very cheap to ship. Most shipping companies, whether it's sea or air shipping, they charge per kilograms for shipping and customs. So by selecting products below 1 kilo or even below half a kilo, you're going to guarantee that your shipping invoice will be within your budget and won't hurt your wallet at the start. Next tip is ship small quantities. A common misconception in managing inventory is the belief that you need to invest in a lot of stock upfront. This notion is incorrect. It's definitely not necessary to invest a significant amount of capital in your first order. So don't think you need a lot of stock to succeed. Start with a small amount like 10, 50, or even 100 units. This way, you won't spend too much money upfront and it's easier to handle. Starting small also helps you avoid big financial risks and problems with managing a large number of orders. It lets you test things out, see what works, and then decide if you want to get more later. The next tip is be conservative in your scaling. Once you've confirmed that people really like your products and you can estimate you're going to run out of stock soon, it's time to begin planning your second order. And in this order, you don't have to scale aggressively. By scaling aggressively, I mean going from 20 units on your first order to 100 units on your second order. No, you don't do that. You want to do it conservatively if you're still on a low budget. The rule I use is ordering 1.5 to 2 times your previous order. Let me explain. Let's say that my first order was 50 units. My second order will be between 75 to 100 units. And that's what has been working well for us. Adopting a conservative scaling approach means that you're careful not to overestimate your sales projection. Instead of ordering a large amount of stock upfront, you opt for a more cautious and conservative approach. At the end, this helps prevent the accumulation of excess inventory that might sit on shelves for a long time without being sold. The next tip is use local delivery partners. In many African countries, you'll find out that trust is the main reason why customers don't buy online. And one of the ways to gain trust in your first orders is by offering payment upon delivery. Depending on how your customer prefers, it can be in the form of cash, mobile wallets, or bank transfer. And guys, it's impossible to deploy this payment method with a dropshipping model. That's because this requires you to be more in control of the delivery process with your customers. And not only that, the fact that most countries in Africa do not have structured addresses, your only solution is using local delivery partners that know the ground. By using local delivery partners, you kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You fix the trust issue because payments are made upon delivery at no risk to the customer. You take advantage of the cheap labor and low delivery costs. And 3, you get the product delivered even to places with no structured home addresses. Those are some tips I'll use to run an e-commerce business that's proven and tested and avoid dropshipping completely. If you see a business model working outside of the continent, you can't just copy and paste and accept the same outcome. Our economies are different, our culture, our people, our conditions are just different from the rest of the world. I know, of course, we have some similarities, but copying and pasting a model without making any changes suited for our environment and needs is a recipe for disaster. I've made this business model work, and we are on track to make over 300k by the end of the year since we started 3 years ago. And I see no reason why this model will not work in your country. If you've been wanting to start building an extra income stream, you should consider doing it fast before foreign companies come with big funding to monopolize the market in your own backyard. So guys, good luck with your e-commerce journey. Peace.